Hey, what's going on? Taurus here. Episode 9 on the books. My, how far we've come. Yeah, so this is just pretty much gonna serve as a public service announcement to not fly Coraxes. I just don't like the ship. I end up fighting 3 of them in this video. And, I mean, again, it does kind of go to show that the pilots that were flying the ship probably weren't as experienced as me or other pilots, but still, just abysmal. I mean, I don't even point this guy and he dies so quick. I don't even have time to get into range. I think he was light missile fit, so he probably was flying away anyway. But just absolute, I just don't like that ship at all. I think that it does have a use in that, like, it can totally own zone, like, brawling frigates with the web and with rockets. You know, you can kind of keep them at bay. But then again, its natural, like, its hull ship speed is super slow and it's just not maneuverable. You know, if you want to put like a prop, like a dual prop on there, then you're gonna be gimping your tank, and you still need a web and a scram. So I don't know, I just don't really like the ship. This guy's active tanked. Again, I'm active tanked, and I don't even cycle my reps because I don't need to. Just Corax is just not good at all. Anyway, after those 2 nice feel-good fights, we get into the nitty-gritty. And I'm back to the old trusty Comet here. Got some beautiful music playing in the background. Yeah, So there's a slicer, and my experiences with fighting slicers is that they're all these kitey fits. They're usually like double nano in the lows with an ancillary rep and an MWD and a warp disruptor, and they just orbit you at like 22 kilometers, pelting you with Scorch, and, you know, doing like 200 DPS, maybe like 180 DPS. So it's definitely a formidable ship to fly. And with my dual prop Comet, I'm thinking that I gotta overheat my MWD, scram him, and then, you know, just orbit him and zonk him down. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but at the very beginning of the fight, I thought I had clicked approach on him, and I didn't actually approach, and I just sat there with an MWD cycle on, which, you know, blooms your sig, but sitting at 0 MS. Oh, so frustrating to watch that back. So there was a lot of piloting errors in this case. I should have overheated my afterburner to get on top of him and orbit him. He's afterburner fit, which again I did not expect at all, and I just totally get own zoned. Nah, I mean, not even close. So what do? Well, as any EVE pilot, I get my revenge. I change my fit, I put on an afterburner and a web, and a NOS as well, which the NOS is actually going to be come into play pretty big in this fight, because he did not even move. He's still in the same spot that I left him. So I just get right on top of him. I want to scram and web him. I want to slow him down so I can get a nice tight orbit on him. I know that I take a lot of damage on my approach, but that's not actually that big of a deal because I know I can get underneath his guns. Pulses, and his ship, I don't believe gets a tracking bonus. It just gets like a rate of fire, and not even rate of fire. I think it's range, just range. If I can get underneath those pulses will have a hard time hitting me. So what I need to do is get nice and tight in there and just make sure that he's getting as many misses as possible. While I might even just get grazing hits, that's fine because I've still got drones. Anywho, I get in my nice tight orbit, and what shows up? But my favorite ship, the Corax. So now my priority is just getting him dead as quick as I can, because I need to close the gap and get tackle on that Corax, because I know that I can't survive. I know that the lasers aren't hitting me that well, so I've mitigated most of that DPS, but that rocket Corax is going to hurt me. Even with the afterburner fit, he's going to be hitting me for pretty much full of his DPS, simply because rockets apply really well. And again, another mistake there, I let my web burn out. For some reason I was overheating my web that entire time. I'm not really sure why. And I probably should have overheated my guns. I think I was worried about cap issues. Overheating your guns increases the cycle, or decreases the cycle time, so you end up using a little bit more cap. That turns out to be a non-issue, and it actually works out better in this case because I'm allowed to overheat pretty liberally against this Corax, who, I don't know if you noticed, but just stopped shooting. He probably would have killed me, but he burned out his rocket launchers. When I looted his wreck and took the rocket launchers back to the station, I found out that they were 100% damaged. So this right here, I should not even be alive. Lucky for me, he had a little bit of heat mismanagement and ended up being the death of him. That's something that I don't know if people are completely aware of, but when you fit up these ships in EFT, or when you're using pipe or whatever fitting tool that you're using, you can cycle the overheat on those modules, and it will show you a time readout of how long you can go before your modules are going to overheat. And for a ship like the Comet, who has 2 blasters, if you put a space in between those 2 blasters, they're not going to radiate heat damage as much, and it's going to allow you to overheat longer. But the reason why I bring that up is that you should know how long your guns can go before they burn out. So if you know that your rack of rocket launchers are going to burn out in, say 58 seconds, maybe you should just overheat at 40 seconds at a time, just to give yourself a little bit of leeway. And honestly, if he would not have overheated, he would have killed me anyway. So, I mean, not saying that he shouldn't overheat. You should always overheat. That's what it's there for. Absolutely use it. It's going to give you an edge. But you should also know how long you can overheat. And then this last fight, I was actually chasing an Incursus around. I know it's almost done before I even get to talking about it, but it's kind of run-of-the-mill. Kind of the same situation. I just need to burn down the Incursus really, really fast. Because he's active rep, he's going to take a lot longer to go down. And I need to get him done before I can tackle this this destroyer here. Which, again, isn't going to track me very well up close and personal. So all I have to do is get underneath his tracking, turn that afterburner on, and wait until he dies, pretty much. Anyway, the next stuff I have for you is Kestrels. I don't know if you guys pay attention to the Evazizi channel, but Satonia put out another video with Kestrels, and it's a super cheap fit. They're like a little over 5 mil each, and I bought 10 of them for a total of like 50 some mil. It's like 52 mil, I think. And I'm just going to use them and see how much ISK I can destroy. And hopefully, yeah, we'll get some entertaining bits out of that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.